As a part of our MLOps course, we want to organize a competition. I already made an announcement about that during the launch stream. And here today on this webinar, we will talk more about the competition with the details, like how to use the platform. I only showed you a screenshot of this platform. Alexander will, who is a person or one of the people behind this platform, will tell us how to use it. Yeah. And actually, I just want to tell a bit of a backstory. So Alexander and I had a stream a while ago. So I interviewed Alexander. Was it at the beginning of this year? I think was January, right?
Uh,
And there,
Even earlier, I guess.
earlier, yeah, probably. And there on this interview, I was asking Alexander about his teaching experience. And maybe Alexander, you'll tell us a bit more about yourself when you start. But one of the things we talked about was the process that students, his students, the students of his courses go through to make it very practical. And as a part of that, they do a competition, and I thought so cool. We should do something like that for our MLOps Zoomcamp. And half a year after that, now we're talking about actually running a competition using the platform from Alexander and his colleagues. Yeah, so I'm really excited. And now I'm giving the floor to Alexander. Please, Alexander, tell us a few words about yourself, and then we will start with the presentation.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here. And yep, sorry that I cannot like turn the video on. It turns out I just have a bad internet, so it will be like without my video today. Yep. So yeah, my name is Alexander Guschin, and I'm kind of I'm a machine learning engineer. At some point of time I was a Kaggle grandmaster, and that interview you mentioned was mostly about that. Actually, that part of my experience. Yeah, but I do teaching and I teach a lot. And since I'm mostly a machine learning engineer, I teach things like MLOps, like various tools and technologies behind that. And at one of the courses I have, it is kind of close to by its idea. It's really something similar to MLOps Zoomcamp, although it's running in university and not like online for everyone. Unfortunately, so we developed this platform. I'm going to show you today, and we are using it over the class, over my class to kind of to let students develop their machine learning models, deploy them, set up monitoring, set up like Git repos, Docker, Kubernetes, and whatever they want. And yep, basically that's it. And I hope this platform will like do will be a great fit for MLOps Zoomcamp as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So please tell us more about the competition we want to do.
Okay, yep. Yep. And yeah, just before we go there, there is another name on the slide, like Mikhail Semchinov, who is like the main developer of this platform. So you'll see his Telegram handle on the YourBot website. So if there are any questions or like problems with the platform, you can always reach him out and he will help you. So yeah, I was expecting some internet trouble, so I prepared the presentation with screenshots. But when this presentation is finished, we will go to the website and try it out. So there is this website, which some of you may figure out it's built using Streamlit. And there is a chat. There is a chat. You can chat with someone and try to guess whether it's a human or a bot. So kind of a Turing test that can be run online. And like basically, there are like few players in this game. This is a game, right? And there are like humans, there are bots and classifiers. So like humans are obviously trying to figure out who they are talking to, right? trying to figure out who is the bot, like whether the person they're chatting with is a bot or or another human. Then there are bots trying to deceive everyone in this game, and there are classifiers who are getting the messages from people and bots who are chatting, but classifiers don't know whether this is a bot or human, and classifier is trying to figure that out. So yeah, expected this to be a demo time, but sorry again for the internet problems. So I'll try to make that work at the end of the presentation, but for now, yep, just to like, I don't know, state once again players' goals. For humans, the goal is to correctly figure out who are they talking with. For bots, to deceive players in classifiers, and for classifiers to correctly figure out who is in the chat. And there are, like, because this is a game, right? We are trying to figure out who is the best at this game. And there are multiple leaderboards at the website. And here, like, screenshots of two leaderboards for humans, mostly, and then for bots. For humans, the best, like, the main metric is the accuracy of their guesses. So you chat with someone 1 minute, and then you're trying to guess, was that a bot or was that a human? And if you are, like, great at that, you're getting accuracy of 1, then there are, like, samples is just the number of dialogues you had in total. And then the score is some, like, multiplication of these two things. But this takes into account that when you have a small number of dialogues, we are not totally sure about your accuracy. So your accuracy just, like, slightly grows the more samples you have. And yeah, currently it can be seen that accuracy is near 1. Yeah, it's just because this is the top of the leaderboard. If you go to the website and if you scroll down, you'll see like, humans that weren't guessing that great, and accuracy was lower. And there is, like, this small leaderboards for bots. Actually, there were, like, more than 3 bots, but currently there are only 3. And for the bots, the main metrics is deceptiveness, which is kind of like, it's kind of an accuracy, but like, in the other way. So it's 1 minus human accuracy. So if human accuracy on this bot is 1, then like, humans are always guessing that bot perfectly, and then it's like deceptiveness is 0, and vice versa. And we'll, like, at the end of the presentation, I'll share links to example repos where you can deploy your bot and try to achieve, like, great deceptiveness and, like, deceive all the humans in the chats. And yep, the next slide is this one. There is a public API that lets anyone join as a deceiver bot or detector classifier. So you are, like, you can develop your classifier, train your ML model, then wrap it up in, let's say, like, HTTP web service. Then you register that web service at your bot, and your bot starts to send HTTP requests to your service with your ML model. And these are, like, examples for HTTP contract. If you're deploying your classifier, then you're getting this. So it's like JSON. Basically, you'll get a JSON payload, and there will be 4 fields. The first field is ID. So ID is just an ID of the message you are getting, because this is a dialogue. There could be multiple messages, and your classifier will get them just when they are created. So when they are when the backend of your bot knows about these messages. So you'll be getting, for one dialogue, you'll be getting multiple messages, and it's like, you need to accumulate them together, right? Because when you have like, a dialogue and you are trying to classify, trying to, like, detect bot using dialogue, the accuracy or like your machine learning quality, whatever metric you'll choose, it will be better because you have more, more messages from that entity, from the bot or for human, and then your accuracy will be better. So you need to have dialog ID for that. Dialog ID is an ID that is the same for all the messages that you get from one dialog. And of course, you need text, which is just the text of the message. And you also have a participant index here, which tells you like whether this is a message from the first participant in the chat or from the second. If from the first participant, you will get 0, and if this is the message from the second participant, you'll get 1, just to like maybe order them, these messages correctly, or maybe do something else. And with bots, like if you deploy your bot, if you register it, you are getting again like dialog ID to also combine all the messages within this dialog, and you are getting like the text of the message. And once you're done deploying your bot or your classifier, you can register them. You'll go to your bot, and there is this form. You like put, you select bot or classifier here. You put some like, names if you want. And then you need to enter endpoint URL here. So for example, if you expose it to some domain and then it will be reachable by some port, it will look like that. But like usually if you deploy it to some virtual private server, let's say, you'll get an IP here, and then you'll have the port here. Well, I guess that's it about the registration. When you register it, your bot or your classifier will start receiving messages, and then you need to answer them. Yep. We just saw, like a few minutes ago, we saw leaderboard for humans and leaderboard for bots, right? But it was a leaderboard where like humans were trying to figure out who they're talking to, and the bots were trying to deceive humans. But classifiers are also trying to find and detect bots, and bots are also trying to deceive classifiers. So there should be like kind of separate leaderboard that shows that. And this is actually a leaderboard of classifiers from my students. We just finished that class I was talking about at the beginning of the call. And if we take a look here, for example, the best classifier here, and then you know that it's technical metrics leaderboard. There are no machine learning metrics here. They will be on the separate leaderboard on the next slide, but here we can see technical metrics. So there were like more than 1,000 requests to the best classifier, a lot of responses. Some of them weren't correct. Maybe the classifier, I don't know, returned the wrong data, maybe something else. I can see it here. And we can also see lifetime. Lifetime is how many days it was online. It was like 61 days here. We talked about that with Alexey for Zoomcamp, and like Alexey, you can correct me, but we decided that we'll use like 7 days time frame, and we'll have like separate leaderboard that will show the best performance of your classifier, like for any 7 days. So we'll just select a consequent 7 days in a way that your classifier will show the best performance there.
Mm-hmm. And I can, maybe jump in to say the motivation, the idea behind this was that the competition will take entire summer, so all 3 months of summer, and some of you may take part in the competition, let's say in June, some of them in July, some of you in August. But let's say you deploy a model now, and it will probably cost some money to keep this model running. So it's kind of not fair to you to, how to say, like if you keep all this model running, you'll need to pay a lot of money over the course of the entire competition, right? Not a lot, but some, right? That's why if you run it only for 7 days, this is enough to collect some metrics. And this is what we will use for actually sorting the leaderboard and understanding what is the best performing bot. It does not mean you cannot run it for longer. Alexander, I understood you. Correct me if I misunderstood you. If you run it for 2 weeks and the performance on 1 week will be better than the performance on the other week, we'll take the best performing week, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So that's the main idea, main motivation behind this.
Yep, and you always will be able to see the performance of your classifier during all the time when it was deployed or during like specific time frame if you want. And yep, this was like technical metrics leaderboard. We will improve it, and we are kind of waiting on your feedback as well, because this is kind of thing that we are building on our way. So if you have like any ideas what can be added here, then we will like gladly consider that and discuss that. Also, one more important column here, I guess I need to mention, is latency. Latency is how fast your classifier gives the responses to the backend of your bot. And it's like it's usually like it's always a trade-off, right? The better machine learning model you have, the longer it will take like time to calculate predictions. So it's also like an important thing here. And like the cap on this is 1 second. So we expect that all of like your classifiers will return answers within 1 second actually. But if it's like lower, that's okay. Yep. Also, you can see here, like there are some percent of responses. These are like just numbers received by dividing one number by the other number. So it's just something like some auxiliary additional information you can use to faster understand what's going on. We'll add like some description for these columns on the website, so you can that it can be easier for everyone to understand if something is not clear. But for now, you can ask like Mikhail, I mentioned, who is the main developer of this, and he will answer. Okay. Yep. Let's move on. The second main leaderboard for classifiers is machine learning metrics leaderboard. So as I told, like you can have great technical, I don't know, technical parameters of your service, but it also should be good. Like it should have a great machine learning model inside, right? So we are measuring like metrics like accuracy, ROCALC, log loss, like precision recall, F-score, and you can see a number of predictions here as well. And yeah, I guess we also yep, and of course, to train your classifier, you need data, right? So we created a Kaggle competition. You can check out. The link is here, and you can download training data from there, and you can use it to train your classifier. Actually, yep, that's just one way to obtain the training data, I guess. We also discussed with Alexey that we are going to add one kind of combined leaderboard that will have both technical and machine learning metrics together. We'll do this in week or two. Meanwhile, you'll have two leaderboards you just saw, but there will be another, like the main leaderboard for this that will have your classifiers ranked in a like in a main way, let's say. Okay. I also wanted to put here some like architecture, possible architecture for your machine learning system. This is something we do or we kind of aim for at my class, which I'm teaching at this like central university, and like this is just an idea for you what you can build around it. Of course, it could be like different tools or like maybe different approaches, or maybe you don't need everything. This is kind of a I mean, very detailed architecture. So you can, of course, you can skip some parts. And Alexey on like MLOps Zoomcamp, he has like great materials and great tools presented. So you can just kind of think about what you're learning from Zoomcamp, and build your own architecture here, and like create your classifier, like your service the way you want to. But I'm going to walk over this diagram, so for you just to have some kind of idea here. So first of all, we had like on my class, we had of course like local machine. This is our laptop or like notebook, whatever, and we had VS Code running. Then we had virtual machine, like it's just a virtual private server. We connect to that by SSH using VS Code, and then on the virtual machine, we're training machine learning model and deploying it. So it's here like fast API classifier. And the backend of HumanBot or YourBot, it's sending HTTP requests to your classifier after you registered your classifier on YourBot. And also, like for example, you can use MLflow as like to log machine learning metrics when you run some experiments. You can also create like S3 to store your model binaries there. You need some Postgres, of course, to store like the results of your experiments. And well, for example, for your classifier, when you deploy it, actually, you need to combine together all the messages from a single dialog. As we saw earlier, you are getting these messages one by one. You're not getting the entire dialog in your classifier. So you need to have some, maybe it will be, I don't know, LRU cache in Python. Maybe it will be a Postgres. Well, you'll store the previous messages, and you run some select to Postgres to have to retrieve previous messages from the same dialog. So it's up to you how to do that. Then you also can log, let's say, some metrics to Prometheus, visualize them in Grafana. You can also use, let's say, evidently to like create some run some statistical tests for your model quality or maybe for your predictions, and you can report them either to evidently built-in like cloud dashboards or to MLflow if you want. Yeah, and you can run that in Airflow, obviously. Maybe daily if you get like new data to retrain that, if like maybe we'll organize new data appearing at some place from your bot. And of course, you also should have a Git repo where you push your code, right? And maybe you'll have CI/CD. So that's just a very detailed picture. It may be different for your case, but I hope this just gives you an idea what you can build around this using this YourBot as some like as a consumer for your classifier, right? For your ML model. Okay, yep. Finally, yeah, I just wanted to give a bottom line here. Why like use your bot at this Zoom camp? First of all, I think it's a great practice for tools and technologies you are going to learn at MLOps Zoom camp. The second point here is that it's as close to real ML production as an educational project could get. I hope, yeah, because there is like a real platform that uses your classifier, sends requests, and it gives you some statistics, and you can iterate, you can make it better, you can like see what's going on here. And finally, I was like showing this like the projects of my students to some people in machine learning sphere, and many of them told me that this is a great example of portfolio project when you can show how you build this machine learning system, how you deploy that, when you have code for that in Git and you can share. And well, this is just a great for your portfolio, and it can help you and highlight your skills in a good way. Finally, there are starter repos. There are 3 of them. There is like a repo for a bot. It's a dummy bot, just answers you like some, I don't know, some dummy thing. Then there is a dummy classifier, which gives you a random number, but like as a probability of this message being sent by bot. But you can train your machine learning model and put it there. And there is a quick start, which is something you can also use. First of all, it's combine. It's like both bot and classifier together, and it uses some like black SSH magic, whatever. You run it on your machine, and then it gives you an URL. You can register and you are at your bot, and it creates a SSH tunnel to a specific machine we created that hosts your that will expose your service to the internet. So you can just use it to test this out quickly, but it's not kind of production example. You can check it out. It's very interesting, but and you can try it as a quick start, but eventually you need to use dummy classifier and deploy it to some, I don't know, maybe a virtual server at Amazon WS, or maybe at Fly.io or whatever. Alexey will tell you better where he expects your classifiers to be deployed. I guess that's it. Yep. I can try to show demo of the platform.
Yeah, I think it would be quite good. Just to for your comment where to deploy. So in the course we use AWS, so you can use AWS for hosting the classifiers. And I think even when we talk about deployment, we briefly mentioned that you can use, I don't know, Elastic Beanstalk or something else for deploying. It does not mean that you have to use AWS for hosting your classifier for this particular competition. You can choose whatever you want. So you're not restricted to any technology choice. So you can use any cloud. You can use any serving framework. So in our course, we use Flask. In the examples that Alexander mentioned, I think it's Fast API. If you want to use a different framework, I don't know, Django REST or what are there are others, right? So like it's up to you. You can choose whatever framework you want to use for this. Okay, let's look at the demo.
Okay, yeah, awesome. I got my internet working. So yeah, if you open your bot, like you'll get to this chat where you can chat, and it's actually the main like the main page for this, right? So you can enter your name if you want, because it will collect, as we saw, there are leaderboards, so it will collect your results. So I'm just starting a chat, and let's take a look. Okay, so I'm here currently. I'm the first to write the message. I can be the second. So I'll just hey. Okay, so it just repeats. Yeah, I guess he is a bot because yeah, I had some number of dialogues on this platform, and so it's actually I guess it's a dummy ecobot. Yep, there are like other bots on this platform who are smarter than just a dummy bot, but what an interesting thing here, that when we run a small hackathon in our class and at our university, some people started to behave like ecobot to trick other humans. in believing that they are talking to a bot instead of a human. Yep. So that was a bot. I can start again, and maybe next time it won't be a bot, it will be a smarter bot based on some LLM model. But let's go over other pages. So there is a main page here, and yeah, you can read about how to play, and here are links to quick start and passive and like example repos I was talking about earlier. There is a link to Kaggle competition I was mentioning if you need that, and there are like contacts of the team, so you can contact Mikhail, who is a bear colonel on the internet, or sorry, on the in the Telegram, or well, yeah, or maybe me if you want to talk about this. Maybe you have some questions, and also you need some help. There is a place where you can register your API. So as I told you, you need to put here like IP address of your machine and then the port where you are running your HTTP web service. And you can register bot and classifier. It could be the same service, but it can run on different ports, for example. So the IP will be the same in this case. Then you submit, and it's registered. And yeah, finally, there is a leaderboard where you can see results, right? The accuracy of humans, and you can find you here if you want. The deceptiveness of bots. You can like see if you want, you can, if you, for example, just deployed and registered your classifier or your bot, you can, well, select smaller time frames to see how it works. And yep, there is another tab here for bots versus classifiers, and actually we can see performance of classifiers here. So how well they are detecting bots. And yep, there are like these technical metrics as I was talking about, and there are these ML metrics. If at some point you forget the name of your classifier you've entered, you can also use this form. Just remember the email you submitted, and you can like submit it here, and it will give you, for example, it will give you the hash, and yeah, you can just search for this hash here. Oh, well, not here. Here, classifier owner email, and figure out, yep, where is your classifier. Yeah, I guess that's it for the demo. Yep, I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, thank you. So if you have questions, there is a pinned link in the live chat. You can click on that link and ask your questions. I also want to add something from me. So we have been doing courses for quite some time, and during these courses, we run competitions. And typically these competitions were Kaggle competitions, so where you have a data set and you train a classifier on this data set, or you do something with this data set, and then you send predictions back to Kaggle. And this is good for training machine learning, for learning machine learning, but not for MLOps. And since this course is MLOps, a simple Kaggle competition like that wouldn't work, because we want to test MLOps concepts, we want to test these ML engineering concepts, we want to test deployment. And maybe you've heard this, that this engineering part of ML is what takes most of the time, not modeling, but actually engineering, actually deploying, actually monitoring all these things most of the time in production settings, in industry settings. So this is why we decided to do this here, to give you this opportunity to actually get some exposure to this industry, let's say best practices or whatever, in the form of a competition, which is not possible to do on Kaggle. So that's why I'm really grateful to Alexander and his team and Central University for providing this platform. So I'm really happy about this collaboration, and I hope you will enjoy this too. So that's what I wanted to say. And it looks really great. So thanks, Alexander, for showing it to us.
Yeah, thank you, Alexey. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, I added a link to the live chat, to this and also to the description of the video if you're watching it later in recording. Let me see if, yeah, the question is, can we get a link to slides? Maybe Alexander, you can share
Yeah,
the link
yeah, of
later,
course.
and we will add it to the description, and I will also share it in Slack, so then you can have access. Yeah. Then question, does submission for the competition count as a capstone project for MLOps Zoomcamp? Technically, you can use it as a capstone project, yes. Just be sure that, so for the capstone project, you have a list of criteria you need to satisfy. For this, you can find this in the project description page. As long as you satisfy this criteria, you're fine, right? So then you can submit this as your project for the course. For some of the things, if you just want to take part in this competition, separately from capstone project, it's also possible. Maybe you just do something else. You just, for your project, you do, I don't know, you select one data set, but for this you do a bot. It's also possible. So you can combine both. You can combine the capstone project and the competition, but you can also do them separately. Also for the competition, at the end, like we do in other courses, we will give you points for the course leaderboard, the same points you get for homework, the same points you get for projects. You will also have points for the competition. So at the end, we'll have a form that you will need to fill, and then you'll get the points. So yeah. And if you have any doubts, just ask in Slack. I'll be happy to answer. I don't see any other questions. From my side, maybe a question to you, Alexander. What's the easiest way to get started?
Yep. I guess the easiest way to get started is to open these like these repos. You can find them on YourBot, all right? Quick start repos. They're here. And yeah, we can actually open one, right? And take a
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, maybe we can take
So
a look, because the diagram you showed is a bit, so it's very thorough. It has many parts, but maybe we don't need all these parts, right, to
yeah,
deploy
yeah,
the
yeah, of
simplest
course,
model.
of course, of course. Yeah, it's totally true. You don't need all of those parts. This was just a kind of, I don't know, maybe end goal for
Mm-hmm.
the work for this project
Mm-hmm.
actually.
But
So
maybe, Alexander,
mhm.
sorry for interrupting you. So for the person who asked if you want your project to the competition participation to qualify as a project, you actually will need to tick most of the boxes that Alexander presented on the diagram. So if your goal is to do both competition and project, then you'll kind of have to do most of this stuff. But if you just want to take part in the competition, then yeah, maybe you don't need prefect or orchestrator. Maybe you don't need I don't know, monitoring. You just can focus on other things that you choose. So up to you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that point as well. Yeah, so let's take a look at this repo at first. This is a quick start repo. It has both bot and classifier. And how it works actually, you just run it. Like you can run it on Linux or macOS. You can run it on Windows as well. And what it does, it connects to our remote server, and that remote server is exposed to the internet. So when you run some like HTTP web service on your machine, if you don't have a dedicated API address, then there is, and it's quite complicated for someone to send HTTP requests to your laptop, right? That's why we need this kind of this magic when we connect to some remote machine, and that remote machine is exposed to the internet. And then when you run the script, it just will output the URL you can use to register your classifier here at the register API, and there will be another URL to register your bot. So yeah, let's go back to Kickstart. So what we use here, we use Poetry to create like virtual environment. We use these like Bash scripts and PowerShell scripts to set up everything, so it actually runs. And there is an app folder you can open to see. You can dive here and you'll see API, which actually has this request and response model we were talking about. There are like two endpoints, get message and predict. The predict endpoint is for classifier part. So it actually tries to predict something, and you can see here it's like the probability is just a random number. So it's just because it's a random classifier, you need to train your ML model and put it here. And get message endpoint, it works like it's a part of bot. So bot need to generate a message and return the message. So here it's I guess it's a dummy bot which just returns the last message you sent to the dialogue. So it will just repeat your messages. Also, you can like plug in I don't know, an LLM model here, or maybe you'll plug in some custom logic, or maybe you'll do something else. And you can check out these folders like core and web, but they are just some additional idea, parts of this. There is a Streamlit app which will open when you run the script, and that Streamlit app will let you talk to your bot and see how, like, what probabilities your classifying returns. So it's just for you to test, right? So when you clone this repo, you run this script or this script, and then you have bot up and running, you have classifier up and running, and you have Streamlit application up and running. And this Streamlit application lets you talk to your bot and see how your classifier actually, how well it is currently. It's no good. It's just random numbers, but you can plug in machine learning model here, and then you'll see how well it performs. So this is for you to test everything. Yeah. Sorry, it maybe there were like it was a lot of information, but I hope it was
It's
um,
useful. Yeah, thank you.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there is, sorry, I'll take a few more minutes. There is a second repository with classifier, because that quick start thing, it runs on your laptop, and it's not, well, I mean, you can participate in competition, you can appear on the leaderboard, but it's no good for using it as your capstone, as far as I understood, Alexey. So for your capstone, you need something more kind of production-like. You need to deploy your classifier somewhere to, let's say, I don't know, Amazon WS the virtual server, or somewhere to Elastic Beans, whatever. And then you can use this repository. So it just has the classifier. It has Docker Compose for you. And this classifier actually, I guess it's also a random classifier, but you can kind of modify this repo. You can uh, plug in the machine learning model here, and yeah, I guess it's main.py, right? So it's also fast API, so you can use it. You can base on that, and then you deploy this on some and some virtual server, and this virtual server has an API address, and there is a port where this is exposed. So you just register it at your bot, and then your classifier starts to get messages. Yeah, I guess that's it. This is the point to start.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. And I just want to say that so for us, the main focus is not developing a bot when it comes to the course, but developing a classifier. But it does not mean you cannot develop a bot. You can also explore that part. I'm pretty sure when you do this, you will learn a lot of interesting things. But the classifier this is what you're probably mostly interested in, because this is what we cover in the course. So we build a classifier in the course, or we build a machine learning model, and we want to deploy it. We want to use all these best practices that we cover in the course. So this is what you can do. This is what you can apply with the classifier, but with the bot too. With the classifier, there is this leaderboard that we will use to actually award points at the end. We might also have some prizes at the end, but this is not certain yet. If AWS gives us some voucher codes, then we'll also share this. We can use these vouchers as the prize money, or not really money, but you can win some AWS vouchers. This is not certain yet, so but for sure you will get the course points. Yeah, that's one thing. So there are questions that I see in Slido. So a question goes like that. For me, the modeling is the most challenging and unfamiliar part. Will I need any special knowledge beyond scikit-learn pandas? I answer that. So you will not need any special knowledge, but you will need probably at some point. So you deploy a simple model, and then it works, and then you think, okay, what's next? And then you should have curiosity to actually try different things. Maybe talk to ChatGPT to see to say, okay, I have this. What are the things I can improve? Right. So this is, I mean, it's not a mandatory requirement, but it's a good thing to try, I guess. So you deploy a simple model. You mentioned scikit-learn. You know scikit-learn already, so this is more than enough to actually deploy your simplest model. But then you can, but also scikit-learn is large, right? So maybe you know logistic regressions from scikit-learn, but you can try other things. You can also try, I don't know, Keras and deploy a neural network, or you can try an LLM. So like there are so many things you can try, and the nice thing about this competition is you're not restricted to any choice. You can choose whatever you want. You can experiment with things, and then you'll definitely, as you do this, you'll definitely learn something new. And this is the main goal of the competition, is to learn something new. So yeah, you will not need any special knowledge for this, just the desire to learn things. Question from Jose. Could you please share the dates or deadlines for the competition? So we aim to run this competition during the summer. So the deadline could be, let's say, September, the 1st of September. This is something we talked about with Alexander and Mikhail before this. So this is the deadline we have in mind, September the 1st. Okay, another question. For somebody who has not finished the course, can they still go through the course, work on Capstone project, and work on the competition? So when it comes to the competition, anyone from the community and outside of the community, if you watch this video, can take part. So this is open for everyone. So when you work on your projects, just make sure to give some acknowledgement to say that you're taking part in this competition. You can refer to the platform. So this is the platform you use, but otherwise there are no restrictions. So you can take part in the course, but also if you're not taking part in the course, it's fine. You can take part in the competition too. Or maybe you took the course, one of the previous editions of the course, but we didn't have any competition, and now you think like, okay, sounds interesting. I want to try and see what happens. Feel free to do this. You don't have to be an active course participant for that. Okay, that's all the questions. I don't have any questions from my side. Alexander, do you want to add anything before we finish?
Nope. Just wanted to thank you once again for for inviting me here and for suggesting to use YourBot, your Zoomcamp. I hope it will go smoothly and everything will be great.
Yeah, I definitely hope so too. Then just to summarize, so the QR codes you saw, these are the links to get started. If you have any questions in the app on the main page, I think right now, Alexander, you're sharing your screen. If you scroll a bit down, there is the meet the team. So this is where you can ask questions, right? But you can also ask questions in our Slack, and if this is something we can not answer, we can ask you then to contact the team. Most of you hopefully have Telegram, because we have our announcements on Telegram. If you don't, it's a good occasion to get it. Okay, so I guess that's it, right?
Yep. Thank you once again, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Alexander, and yeah, see you soon, and bye, everyone.
Yeah. Good luck with this MLOps Zoomcamp.